we'll stick with this fraction, 2 over 5 to the power of negative 2. How am I going to solve this question? 2 over 5 to the power of negative 2. And if I call on you, just remind me your names, guys. I know Steven. Sorry, Andy? Aaron. Aaron. What's the answer, Aaron? Okay, 5 over 2 to the power of positive 2, right? We have to remember to change the exponent to positive. Okay, so now we're going to apply this to both the numerator and the denominator. 5 squared over 2 squared. This is applying the power rule. Deja, can you tell me the answer to these? What is 5 squared going to give me? 5 times 5? Sorry? Oh, okay. 5 times 5. 25. And 2 squared. 2 times 2. 4. Good. So that is how we would solve this. And you could actually write, if you need some help kind of visualizing, you could extend this to 5 times 5. 2 times 2. If you really want to show all your work. And your unit guide for the very first assignment, showing your work, it's a little bit tedious, but that's what they're asking you to do, to write out your powers. Okay, let's move on to things that are a little bit more complicated. Okay, questions like this is what gives people trouble, so please copy it down. Final 2 questions. So remember, this is a little bit of the negative exponent rule, a little bit about the power rule as well, okay? So we have to apply this negative 2 to everything inside the bracket. So that means we can rewrite this question as 6 to the power of negative 2 and a to the power of 4 to the power of negative 2 as well. So can someone tell me what 6 to the power of negative 2 is? How can I write that down? Boys, I'm going to call on you if you're not listening. 6 to the power of negative 2. Anyone back there? Ben? Okay, well that would be the same as 1 over 6 to the power of positive 2, which would translate to 1 over 36. Ben got a little ahead of me over there. Okay, what about a to the power of 4 to the power of negative 2? What law, what rule do I have to apply before I get to the final answer? Person sitting next to Ben. Yeah, who's that? What rule do I have to apply here? What do you think? Angie?
A to the power of 4 times 7.
Good. I have to multiply my exponent. So 4 times negative 2, which gives me a to the power of negative 8. How do I translate a to the power of negative 8? What does that become? 1 over 36 times, Robin? Good. 1 over a to the power of 8. Because those are both terms are in the denominator, we can combine them to have 1 over 36 a to the power of 8. Right? These are both in the denominator, so they can be stuck together when you multiply those terms. Okay, one final question and then we're done. After I'm done, Kiana. Okay, what do both my numerator and denominator have in common? What's going on there? Yep. Yes, Aaron, negative exponent. So there's a negative exponent over here. negative exponent over here. Now I could write this in a complicated way and flip the base over the top to the power of positive 3 and flip the base over the bottom to the power of positive 2, but that looks very complicated, right? Right? That looks kind of scary. So, guys, I really need you to listen, okay? You're not grade 12 students, you're grade 9 students, so behave like grade 9 students. So, negative 3, whenever something has a negative exponent, that means to make it positive, we're going to move from the top to the bottom if it's already in the top. If it's in the bottom and it already has, and it has a negative exponent, we're going to move from the bottom to the top. So instead of, this process is going to do the same thing that's going on over here. So your answer is going to look like this. My y to the power of negative 2, that's going to move to the top and become y to the power of positive 2. My x to the power of negative 3 is going to move to the bottom and become x to the power of positive 3. And that's a little trick that will really help you with the test, because this can take a lot longer to solve than what you're doing over here. Okay, does everyone understand that? All right, so you have some time to work on your seminar activity. Now, no Unit 2 guides can be handed in without a seminar activity. That means your unit guide is not complete without a seminar activity. Raise your hand if you're not my student. Okay, oh, that's why I didn't know your name. Those of you who are not my student, you have to put your teacher's name on the paper, and you're handing this back to your teacher, not to me. Okay, that makes sense? My students, you are going to attach this to your unit guide. Remember, when your Unit 2 guide is complete, you're going to see me to get a signature on your guide, and then only you can hand it into the counter.